Today I just want to rant. I just want to be a little shit and give my unsolicited opinions on the internet like everybody does. And it's fun. It's how I used to talk to my sisters, so it's nostalgic too. Just ranting, especially about like pop culture. And I didn't feel like doing it in a well-lit room. That was gonna make my eyes tired, make me feel drowsy. So here we are in a dim-lit space that I like to call moody, and it is in the basement because I do live in the basement of my mother's house. So that's why it's got those vibes to it. Anyway, so Kim Kardashian, where is all the hate coming from? Like, I was young when she was popular and when she allegedly got surgery on her bum. They were curvy before. Like, I just never understood. Okay, yeah, she got the surgery, obviously. Obviously. I'm not denying that. I don't even know why I said allegedly. That was stupid. But so was the surgery. It didn't make her look better. And I don't understand the hate on her because it literally made her uglier. Like, she objectively had a way better body before. Like, her body is great now, but that's because she's gotten a lot of that stuff reversed and gone back to her original. So I don't understand how her getting surgery influenced other women to get surgery just to look worse than before. Like, she naturally had hips, which is not something you can really get with surgery and make them look good. They just don't look good when you try to do them. So honestly, it's mind-boggling she even went in to fix her hips that were already fucking perfect. But you can't be mad at her for getting a de-beautifying procedure. I don't understand. And if you were bamboozled into thinking she looks good just because she got famous from the time when she had the surgery, I feel like those are honestly completely unrelated things, by the way. She was like on a trajectory, like fighting for fame way before she got any major like face altering, body altering surgeries. So I feel like she would have been famous regardless. Now, would she have been infamous? Probably not, because it was a very drastic, like unrealistic looking like bum. But again, like, everyone must have just been delusional. I mean, I was young, so I didn't really get it, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's my take on it. I think everyone's overreacting and honestly putting too much power on her. It's weird. And people do this like with Kylie Jenner. Let her cry. Let her cry. Let her cry. You're giving power to a girl who's like 16 years old getting surgery, 16, 17, getting surgery that she probably can never look the same again now, completely. Even with great surgeons, she's never going to be the exact back to the original. She's never going to know how she would have aged gracefully, and that is depressing. I find that depressing. I find that something to cry about. But you're giving, again, too much power to her. She affected you so much, and her getting lip injections affected you so much as a society. One teenage girl had the power to influence a society. But then the reverse isn't true. Like, how can we not reverse that logic? So she can infect you as somebody and make you want to get lip injections, but you can affect her and be the reason she's crying because of the rude things you say on the internet. And it's not just like faceless people. It's literally people with millions of followers, like people on YouTube, but it's multiple people. It's not one person, one Jenner, one Kardashian, or one family. So honestly, if we're using this logic of we should do things for other people and how other people are going to see us, then it doesn't make sense why we're not holding the people accountable in the bully behavior to the Kardashian clan, which is clearly affecting them. So it's weird that Kim Kardashian can never be a victim. Not that anyone should ever try to be a victim. It's an awful thing to be, and it's an awful thing to be, especially if you're not, but nobody is fully victim and nobody is fully predator. That's just not how the world works. Now, you can do something that is so predatory that you just get labeled as a predator forever for a good reason, to save people from ever being victims of you again. But still, even those people who are horrendous people are never going to 1000% be predators. God's still gonna love them at the end of the day. And Kim Kardashian and the rest of the family is nowhere near that level. Yeah, I wrote, the way people are talking, it's like you own their bodies. Yeah, their body is your property and you don't allow for there to be changes to it. Like, you didn't sign off on these changes to your slaves, so they can't get surgery because you didn't sign off on how it would affect society. So that's a no-no. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But, like, it's weird. It just doesn't, it mind boggles me. Basically, in summation, I'm doing a bad job at this, but in summation, you give somebody this much power, but you're pretending like somebody has this much power, but then you're wanting to own them. So it's a very contradictory thing, and one of them has to be a lie. It's almost like you just want to have power over this person instead of them having power over you. It's like you're consuming the Kardashians, and so they have power over you, but you want to overtake them. And so that's where all this is coming from. Yeah, the next unpopular take, Blake Lively, leave her alone. It's too much. Like, you can have your opinions, but I feel like people are riding the train on it's a very trendy topic to talk about and also be in favor of her downfall, that you're doing your videos in a way that's like, fuck Blake Lively, on purpose to get views, even if you don't believe that. And I can't think that everybody believes that. I think I've watched 10 videos, not finished 10 videos, but at least watched them to know that they're all the same exact videos saying the same exact talking points about how Blake Lively sucks and how she's always sucked and how she's always been a mean girl and how she's not a natural blonde, which seems to be the most rude remark out of everything. Like, they want her to be the most offended that she's not a natural blonde. I think she knows that. I think if she dyes her hair blonde, she knows what the natural color of her hair is. So, doesn't make sense to me. Also, has she always been a mean girl? Like, why can't you just be upset by how she acted recently? Why does it have to be, oh, let's go back in the archive, she's always been a little bitch? Like, come on. Also, most of the video evidence of that is just her literally trying to be funny, which Ryan Reynolds does all the time. I've not seen an interview where Ryan Reynolds has been serious, not once. Not once in my life has he been serious. And it's okay. That's his personality. Blake Lively's humor seems pretty harmless. She really seems like she gets joy out of hearing people laugh after she says something, and she seems very much like, sort of like the clever class clown, or she tries to be like the clever class clown, where she's just wanting to like say these clever little witty things and make you laugh, or make you either be a little scandalized but be like, oh, she's so funny and witty. Like, that's probably why she married Ryan Reynolds anyways. She finds him clever and witty, and that's what she enjoys. Also, it is something to note that when somebody is funny, if you want to, sort of how I see it, if they're funny at your expense, or if they're funny just to kind of bring laughter into the world, I kind of think of it as, do they let other people tell jokes? And I think that shows a humility to them. Like, they can tell a joke, but they can take one in at their expense. Ryan Reynolds makes fun of Blake Lively all the time, probably to make her laugh and to show that he's clever and funny or whatever. But she eats that up. She allows her husband to make fun of her, so I feel like, and that's who she loves, and she loves that about him. So I feel like that's a really good indicator that she doesn't have malicious intent when she's telling these jokes. The hair care line, that was another thing before I move on. The hair care line. Shut up. You already know what her hair looks like. So if she's been using these products for, what did she say, like 8 years or something, it's a reflection of how her hair's looked for the past 8 years. People have loved her hair. I have never heard anybody say anything bad about her hair until people started canceling her for this Justin Baldoni stuff, which I'm also, side note, I'm totally fine with people defending Justin Baldoni and how he did kind of get steamrolled by Blake Lively. I mean, maybe you can be disappointed in how she handled things, but at the end of the day, a producer does have a big role in a movie, and producers all the time are telling directors, let's not do it that way, because a lot of times producers have a monetary stake in the film, and so what they say has weight behind it. So it didn't make too much sense to me, especially because she didn't direct it. He still directed it. No matter how bossy she was, excuse me, no matter how bossy she was or whatever people are trying to insinuate, he still directed it. She didn't get him fired. Like, the tides kept turning. He's bigger than he's ever been. I've never heard about him before this. Like, society did what it was supposed to. It recognized Justin Baldoni as somebody who deserved more credit on the film, who didn't get it at first, and then it should have been done. But we can't have nice things. Nobody knows when to stop. Nobody knows when to stop. We're voyeurs of celebrities, just like we're voyeurs of film and television. Just now with Instagram and everything, you can be a voyeur of a person. And people who are famous for multiple different things, like they're famous on social media, but they also are in the next big project coming up. It's a multi-level thing that you get to see more angles of this person. They're way overexposed. And when someone's overexposed, I think when you're a voyeur like that, it can become stalkerish, even by accident. Like, I'm a stalker of some people by accident, just because I'll watch the TV shows they're in, I'll watch everything they've ever done, and then I also follow them on Instagram, which is very strange to know that much about somebody who you don't know. And it makes you have these inflammatory reactions of love, of obsession, of lust, of hatred. And you kind of have to police yourself into not being a creep. Talk about, is there enough food at the table for everybody? And when I get started on an idea for YouTube and try to make a video, I've tried to make multiple. And it gives you so much pure anxiety, and I've never felt that anxiety before. I mean, I can be a nervous person, but just have that anxiety and anxiousness eating you alive. It's because we think there's not enough food at the table, but there is. I really feel like there is. It's just people don't trust themselves enough to either put in the work or to be lucky enough or be clever enough or, be patient enough for these good things to happen to them. And anyway, the video cut out right as I was talking about the Amber Heard versus Donnie, who cares what his name is? I don't care what his name is. Johnny Depp defamation trial, where he basically used Amber Heard as a little testing dummy for him to win against Disney in the future. because he got fired from Pirates of the Caribbean for a letter that she wrote, not even naming him in the letter, but I guess the timeline of everything made people rightfully assume that he was her abuser, which is what she wrote in the letter. And he filed, I don't even, you probably know, so I don't even know why I'm getting into it in detail. My opinion of him is that he's bogus. Not only is it not the truth that he was abused by her, he was on drugs the entire time. So, can't you imagine somebody might not remember how terrible they are when they're high on drugs, cocaine, the whole time they're with you and that have been married to you, and they're nearly 200 pounds and you're like 120 pounds. I just didn't understand really how crazy it was. Yes, men can be abused, but he was on drugs the entire time. It's like he was the poster child for the abusive husband. Literally. And somehow that didn't run. I don't understand how that didn't run. But okay, cool. It's kind of like those videos you see about people who are against Tradwives, which I'm not against Tradwives, but it's interesting when women who are against them make these videos about terrible things that have happened to them since they've not been Tradwives anymore. And one woman said her kids got taken away from her because she had no money for them, because she was a housewife the whole time. So, of course, she's, you know, a homemaker. That was her job. So, of course, she has no job. But for that reason, because she was a homemaker and took care of her kids, she can no longer take care of her kids. Do you see how that also doesn't run? Do you see how that doesn't make sense? But that's just how it works. You know? And a lot of these women who are like ex-Tradwives are now, like, they don't have custody of their kids, or they have like a 20-80 split, which is awful. Especially if you're a mother, you're supposed to be like nurturing, especially if you were an ex-Tradwife. You're like the mother of mothers. You're like double nurturing. You're somebody who probably always wanted kids and was a homemaker for the sake of your children. So it really shouldn't run, but somehow diabolically it does run. Do you see how it doesn't make sense though? Anyway, that's beside the point. Going back to the Amber Heard thing. Even a makeup brand was saying how awful everything was that she was doing and condemning her and helping them, saying she used makeup for her bruises, which is very ironic because if you've been hit as a woman, you do use makeup to cover up your bruises. So she had a picture with her bruises but also with makeup on. Also, this is a very, very unpopular opinion, but I don't care. I really don't. I don't care. I'm going to tell you anyway. If you've been hit, there is an embarrassment that you don't want documentation or reminder of you ever being meek or weak like that again, being on the bottom of the food chain, your prey. It makes you feel subhuman. Very rarely are you actually going to have documentation of it. You might have written in your diary, he hit me today, he doesn't mean it, he loves me, but you're not going to take pictures of it because there's just, especially if you're still there, if you're staying in the relationship, there's a shame of who you're sleeping in bed next to. So I'm saying if the photo was doctored, even if it was, it could have all been just makeup, makeup made to look like bruises. Who cares? That doesn't mean that she wasn't hit. That just means she has no photo evidence of it. Was it stupid for them to have a fake doctored photo? Yeah, it was. But if that's what they felt they needed, yeah, it was stupid, but I fully believe that woman was hit. I fully believe he remembers hitting her. I fully believe he remembers multiple times abusing her. That's just the vibe I get from him. Also, all of his relationships with significantly younger women. Case in point, why when I looked up Amber Heard for the thumbnail video, just a picture of her, I see, because of course her name's always going to be linked to Johnny Depp now. By the way, when you look up Johnny Depp, Amber Heard doesn't pop up as frequently as Amber Heard, as Johnny Depp pops up when you type in Amber Heard. So he's fully brandished himself into her now. Fully. And she's not done that same thing to him. It's just there's so many things that if you just thought, you don't have to, it's better that you're not listening to lawyers or higher ups or whoever has an agenda for you to think a certain way. If you just think the way your like brain wants you to, what would you think if you hadn't seen anything on social media or things trending on social media or TikToks that were getting more likes on social media? What would you have actually believed if you saw two different opinions, like a civil debate of somebody who was in defense of Johnny Depp and somebody who was in defense of Amber Heard without seeing anybody's reaction to it? What would you actually believe? And that's just like, honestly, mob mentality is most of these opinions are all about mob mentality. I'm vehemently against the other way of thinking, yet it probably scares you out of thinking the other way. Also, we put so much faith in society, which is really great. And the Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, social inclusion's up there. But put faith in yourself, maybe. Because you're giving people too much power. You're claiming you idolize celebrities. You're following what everybody's saying. It's become high school, but on the internet. But on a grand scale and on a very unaware scale, not in a camp way. It's very high school in an uncamp way. Yeah. Yeah, if you needed any proof that Johnny Depp was into people he could easily influence, his latest girlfriend is a 28-year-old from Russia. Let me look at the article. So, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this man, I don't know what to tell you. There are different reasons, of course, to like a younger woman. There's enjoying her youth and that she's not marked by the world so much yet, so she's less bitter. Okay, that's one. The second one, which by the way, young girls can be very feisty, so I don't know where this she's not bitter is coming from, but maybe the package is prettier. Okay, that's one. Number two is you feel older when you're around someone younger sometimes, so it makes you feel bigger, more powerful, more godlike. Number three is that you see yourself as somebody young and immature, and so you feel like it's a proper match to be with somebody who's that young as you feel is your mental age, which is what I think Johnny Depp falls into that category of number three. I think he is with young women. Oh my gosh. I looked up Johnny Depp because I was trying to find the article where I saw I was dating a 28-year-old, and there's an article where Jenna Ortega has to address the online claims that she's dating Johnny Depp. What the fuck? She has to literally dispute that what is she, 19 or something, is dating Johnny Depp. Do you see how disturbing this man is, that people actually thought he was dating a 19-year-old? I'm sorry, but this doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this dude. I don't know how to help you. I truly feel like at that point it's brain rot. At that point it's brain rot. It's crazy. This is crazy. Jenna Ortega is laughing off online claims that she dated Johnny Depp. A rumor. This is crazy. Yikes. Yeah, okay, that's the craziest rumor she said she's ever heard about herself. That would be mine too. He's 61 years old. He's 61. What can you relate to a 20-year-old about? You shouldn't be able to. It's also not that far-fetched, though. Johnny Depp's new girlfriend revealed actor dating 28-year-old Russian beautician and model Yulia Valsova 2 years after Amber Heard defamation trial. Oh my gosh, somebody has literally made a chart on Reddit. This is crazy. Somebody's literally made a chart on Reddit about how Johnny Depp has never started publicly dating a woman who is older than 28. That's fucking wild. And this was 2 years ago. This is before the news came out that he's dating a 28-year-old Russian beautician. Wow. See? If there's smoke, there's fire. You guys. Yeah, that's wild. Anyway. The thing I'm most mad about in all this is I don't know how to play the game. I don't know what people are going to have the opinion of. I just know what my opinions are. And I just have realized recently they've increasingly been contrary to what's been publicly out there. And that's something to probably do with the silent majority, which is people who feel a certain way but just don't care enough, or they have lives and so they don't speak up in the same way other people do. And so that could be part of it. But truly, it's weird that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know when to keep sweet and be meek, or when to strike and be volatile. I think it's an incredibly feminine skill to have in your arsenal, and it's great. Taylor Swift is really great at it, crafting a narrative, being feminine but being menacing in one sentence, and in the same song, in the same, press junket or whatever. Blake Lively, obviously, people don't give her as much grace, or I don't know. It's hard when the rules are constantly changing, and it's hard when there has to be something inside of you that becomes fake, where you have to placate people when you're out wearing your public face. It's crazy how much you have to think about. You have to constantly think about what somebody else is going to think instead of just being yourself without intention of harm. We love calling characters chaotic evil, chaotic good, whatever, but you can't let real people be real. Characters in movies are based on real people. Like, art imitates life, so I don't understand how we're so okay with art and we're so not okay with life. But yeah, comment. Go wild in the comments. I've never gotten a comment from somebody, so it'd be great if one of you was the first, whoever's watching this. Comment that you disagree. Comment that you agree. Comment why you don't like people, or why you do, or your unpopular opinions, or, what is your opinion on society, and why does it not accept free thought at the moment? And has it never, and I'm just now noticing, or was it better before and it's gotten worse now? I don't know. Bye-bye.